Hi, this is Manju Ramanan, editor Filmfare Middle East, and I'm waiting for Rakul Preet Singh to join me. Well, what a career this girl has had. She started out with a lot of Telugu cinema. She was seen in Yariya, and she moved on to do a very interesting film that we saw quite recently, which was De De Pyar De. I mean, we'll talk to, and of course, she's done other films. We also have seen her in with Rajkumar Rao and Hema Malini. There are lots of stars that she's worked with, and let us see if she's online. No, she's not here yet. Okay. Yeah, so we'll be chatting up with Rakul Preet Singh in some time, and I'm waiting for her to join me. What an interesting array of films that this actress has done, this pretty actress has done. And of course, we've all enjoyed her fitness videos. We've seen what she's, puts up on Instagram. She has a YouTube channel that a lot of us follow. And I've got so many requests from her from across industries because she's very popular in the South. At the same time, she's been a very, very liked actress in Bollywood as well. This is Manju Ramanan, editor Filmfare Middle East. As you know, Filmfare is the Filmfare Middle East is the Middle East edition of the magazine. We have two editions every month, which is the English and the Arabic edition, because the Arabs love Bollywood. And again, this is owned by the Danube Group. We launched Filmfare in the Middle East in 2018, relaunched it in 2018, and it is owned by the Danube Group. And Mr. Razwan Sajan, who is a very avid Bollywood lover, he's got great love for Bollywood. And in the Insta Live that we do regularly is largely about stars that we talk to in Bollywood, and we've done this on a regular basis. If you go back to our IGTV, you'll see the number of people who we have interviewed, and you can go back and watch them because they're already there on the Filmfare Middle East in IGTV platforms. Well, we are working towards our next edition. That is the current situation now. Dubai is opened up. So have the cinemas. Some of the films have re-released as well. So yeah, there is a lot here happening. Okay, there she is. Connect to Rakul Preet in a bit. Let's hope, I can see her. She says she's here. I'm waiting for Rakul Preet to connect to me. There she is. Hello. Hi.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
How are you? You are
Very
so beautiful. You're so pretty. I have to tell you that for the first. I mean, we haven't met,
Oh,
but
thank you so much.
I've seen you
Thank you
at the
so much.
Filmfare Awards South, which I've attended because
Right.
Jitesh is your friend, and so lovely to see
Thank
you.
you.
And you're so positive and full of, I think the fact that you're vegan, that you exercise
Yeah.
so much, your YouTube, and
Yeah.
all of that is very inspirational. So we'll start with
Thank
a very.
you.
So tell me about all of that.
Well, I think it's been a journey. I mean, it's been something that I have, whether it's clean eating or whether it's yoga or working out, that I've grown fond of over the years. When you start working, you have different situations which sort of stress you out. I started working very young. And obviously, that time you don't know, you get worked up with things and
Yeah.
it's been one thing at a time. I got into a little bit of spirituality about 5 years back, and then I dwelled more into reading that, and then I did some deeper reading into that, and then yoga happened, and working out is something I've always been very fond of. And I think as humans, it all boils down to understanding what really, being happy is, and love what you do, whether that's your whatever routine. When people say that it's so inspiring, I'm like, thank you, but I do it because I love it, and I see the changes that it makes to me, whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically. On work front, I think I'm more productive when I put my workouts and my yoga and everything on side, when I eat clean. So yeah, it's all been a journey, and I love it, and I hope that even if one or two people can get influenced or inspired by it and bring a change in their life, I think I'll be very happy.
Yeah, another thing is some of your friends have also called you Sadhguru 2.0. So tell me about that.
Oh God. Yeah, so I mean, I guess it's because I get into this whole preachy mode sometimes, and when they'd be doing this or that, or whatever, sometimes distracted. So I'll go into, no, just think, sit with yourself, think why you're doing it. And like, okay,
Yeah.
quiet. So that happens many times, because I like to just do everything properly. Or, my brother jokes that um, uh, if he'll do something, he's like, did your chakras get spoiled? Chakras. So suddenly there'll be something nice, like you saw the orange light, and I'm like, what nonsense? So that to make fun, because I'll always be calm. Like even right now in a situation that we're in, which is very unfortunate, I just feel that there's always a positive way of looking at things, because we're just merely we're negligible on the face of this planet. And I guess being happy with who you are starts
Yeah,
first. When you're happy, you'll
yeah,
be happy with the situation around. There's not much we can do, but we start
yeah.
burdening ourselves with all the stress in the world. I mean, you can't, it's corona, you can't shoot, I mean, yeah,
True.
it's sad, but I think you need to look inward to sort of find to always be happy.
Yeah. So, tell me right from the beginning, from your Femina, the titles that you won in the Femina pageant days, you won 5 titles.
Right.
So, that would have
um
been quite overwhelming, right? Tell me about all of them and how it happened, the whole process
uh
of
it was overwhelming, of course, to get that kind of recognition at the pageant. So I come from an army background, and I didn't know much about the films, and I used to watch Miss India. That was the only thing I
yeah,
knew. And
yeah,
my mom told me that you should probably go for the pageant, and I was into golf at that point. And no, I'm a tomboy. What are you saying? Uh, I
tomboy. That was interesting. That is
Yeah,
interesting. We talk about
I,
that
I
tomboy.
still am more like a tomboy. I just can't do the girly stuff. Tell me about when I have to put makeup on. I'm like, no.
Really?
But yeah, but anyway, so I was more on that side. Now I'm a little more feminine with the way I think and
Yeah.
feel. But then she put it in my head, and then I started thinking about it, and I thought, okay, I should give it a try. And I wanted to finish I started modeling first
Yeah.
as soon as I turned 18. And I was doing my graduation at that point. So I went for Miss India in final year of college. I continued
Mhm.
doing my modeling just for
Yeah.
experience. And that's when
Yeah.
this happened. I didn't win the title, though. I wasn't in the top three. I was fourth.
Yeah.
But I won these 5 titles, which for me, I'll tell you, I was still very happy, because you come there with nothing. And I remember at the pageant, I really thought, now that time I was not all this, who thought positivity, but I was always a
Yeah.
very positive person. You won't believe me, I really thought something was wrong with me when I didn't win the titles, and I was still very happy, because I was the only one besides the winners who actually wanted to go and eat at the party, because we were starving for almost 2 months. Girls were
Yeah.
breaking their heads, pulling their hair, as if the world's come to an end, and I was like, is there something wrong with me, or what's happening? But yeah, but then that started, and after Miss India is when I moved to Bombay. Then
Yes.
Yaria happened. Then my first film in the South happened. Um, and yeah, I mean, before Yaria released, and I started working there more. And before I knew, I was, luckily doing a lot of good projects. And then I just
Yes.
thought that let me continue that before I step back again, because it's better to have enough experience and know your craft, and just have a solid position in one place before you're too scattered.
Yeah.
And then Ayari happened, they happened, and then I've been more in Bombay. So, wow, putting in a nutshell, that's what it is.
Okay. So your Yariya co-star Himansh is, I think, on the chat. He is somewhere. We messaged him that he's going to be also there. So tell me about the experience working in Yariya, because it was your first film.
We were kids at that point, like so clueless about what we are supposed to do. I remember we had enough prep, and about 2 months of prep, because my role was also of this very nerdy girl who
Yeah.
would walk like that and talk like that all day. But it was a
Yeah.
lovely experience. When I was offered that film, I knew that I don't have any connections in the industry. I didn't know a soul. So
Hmm.
when you get a film like that, which is a great banner and will have great music and they'll promote it right, so we were all
Yeah.
more than excited. I think even today music is really popular. And then
Hmm.
now when you look back and you think, we're like, damn, we were so immature, and so
Yeah.
you learn, right? You grow, you learn, you understand
Yeah.
your work
Yeah.
more. But it was fun. It was a fun experience. I think a lot of learning, because it was
Yeah.
first.
And again, and then you got an offer in the South, and someone had actually calculated your birth chart with your birthday or something.
You know that no. So basically, what happened is that when I started modeling right after
Yeah.
school,
Yeah.
I my first film, and I did that, which was,
Yeah.
and I was all of 18 then, and they had
Yeah.
actually seen my birthday or something. They called my
Okay.
dad and said this girl's going to be a big star one day, and we want to cast her. And I was like, really? I mean, movies were on my mind, but eventually, first I wanted to model, then do Miss India, and then I got that. So I refused in the first go because I didn't know about the South industry. I didn't grow up on films and I didn't know about the regional cinema. So I, like a kid, said, no, I'm really sorry, but I don't want to do South.
Hmm.
And they convinced my dad, and he then told me that it's your call.
Hmm.
And then I thought, okay, I'm going to get money in lakhs and let me do this film because
Hmm.
I wanted my friends to get a car. And my pocket money was 2 grand. That's the reason I did the first film. So when I did
There's
that,
no pressure.
yeah, I fell in love with what I was doing. I just loved the entire process, and I thought, okay, this is what I want to do, but I want to do it
Yeah.
properly, and I'll finish
Hmm.
my studies and then get back to it. Which is why after Miss India is when I came to Bombay. So my first brush had already happened. I'd done a film when I was in a pageant, and when that released, I started a lot of offers, but I kept refusing because of college, because my attendance was an issue. I was a maths graduate.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a sister run college, which is in very, very, very strict. So I thought if
Hmm.
I finish that, get that out of the way, and then pursue it properly. And that, yeah, that's how films happen. So when Yari and I was shooting, I was constantly getting these offers. So I took
Hmm.
something up because
Okay.
anyways I wait for Hindi for to
Yeah.
release. That took about
Yeah.
a year and my South film released 4 months before Yarya did, and that became
Hmm.
a hit. And before I knew, I signed on more films, and I feel very lucky that I got some good projects, and that's it. Destiny had for me.
And how did you manage the tongue twisters? You come from the north. You do not speak Tamil or Telugu or Malayalam or Tamil, but you
I'm
become such a big star. How did you manage first? And do you speak the languages today?
now I speak Telugu as fluently as I speak Punjabi.
Oh,
And
wow. Okay.
yeah, like I speak Telugu very fluently. I pass off probably like a Hyderabadi girl. Tamil
Okay.
I understand. I have
Okay.
tense, like a little bit, but I can completely understand. I can't talk as well.
Okay.
But initially, I didn't know a word. Yeah, first day of set, I didn't know a word. I think it was learning on the job. I never had classes, but I was
Hmm.
someone who made the effort because
Hmm.
some people don't make the effort. But I think that one, it improves my work when I know
Yeah.
what's happening. Second, I'm a
Right.
major case. If people around me are talking in Telugu, I really want to know what are they talking. So I Telugu. So that's the reason. Like I feel like I'm a people's person, and
Hmm.
when I started living there, I need to be a part of the system to be in the system. So I started learning every day. I
Hmm.
started my assistant and my entire team would tell me words and then tell me in Hindi. So I learned it on the job. So I think it took me about a year and a half to start speaking
After
broken.
that. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then now very fluently. I think after about 2-3 years, I was speaking proper Telugu. It's been what 2013 my film released. Yeah, so we're in 20.
And and you made debuts in three different languages in consecutive years, or
Did
very
I?
close to each. Yeah.
I never thought like that. I'll tell you, I didn't know anything. I didn't know
Hmm.
what to debut. I didn't know how
Hmm.
you're supposed to feel. I didn't know what kind of a project you should be in because obviously I was a complete naive. Some people could have been out of the industry, but then they follow it so much or they know so much about
Yeah.
it, and I was this person who wanted to act, and I just
Hmm.
didn't know, what it is or how you should really go about it. But I think
Yeah.
it worked out for me better this way because then you
Hmm.
don't stress yourself. Then you
Right.
don't you're not too harsh on yourself, and you don't create this world that when it matters. You sort of grow with it. You flow with it. You do what's good. You
Yeah.
go with intuition, and that's exactly what I used to do. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah.
Amazing. And Hindi, I mean, the fact that you bring this wealth of what you are, in the South to the Hindi film industry. So what are the learnings that you carry? Is there anything that is specific to all these years that you've, spent in the South industry? And then you move into Bollywood. What is that you also enhance?
See, I think learning is a very ongoing process. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
something that I can pinpoint and say this is what I
Yeah.
learned. But on the whole, of course, all the experience that I have of being in front of the camera, whatever 25, 27 films that I've done in the South, um,
Yeah.
gives me an experience that gives me some sort of confidence, some sort of skill. And that, of course, helps. I mean, if you look at a role like De De Pyar De, yeah. So I said if I was a relative newcomer, I don't think I was pulled off Aisha's role in Dede as well. I mean, as whatever I did,
Yeah.
because you need to understand the characters also. You need to understand
Yeah.
emotion. I think only experience
Yes.
and doing a variety of roles and also experience in your life. Because when you're
Yes.
only exposed to certain things, and then when you start working and you're independent and you're dealing with everything yourself, life just opens you up to a lot more emotions and you become more conscious of those, and you
Yeah.
start using those in your films ahead. And that's why
Yeah.
grow with they do. So I all the experience and the confidence and everything I owe to them, and I owe to Telugu cinema, which was my one major reason to learn the language properly, was the love that I've got from there. You know,
Hmm.
I should at least be able to speak in a language which has given me a recognition. So yeah.
Amazing, because your reach is far and wide. I have had people in Dubai who are Pakistanis, and one of them, I'm mentioning his name, Rashid Afridi, is a huge fan of your South Indian cinema, and he's asked
Oh,
me to mention his name. Yes,
thank
yes.
you.
So that's
Wow, see that,
yeah, and
like what more do you need when you hear from people that you least expect, Pakistan and a South Indian film,
yes,
you know?
that's how it's today, because I think there are hardly any borders today, because people are, and there are subtitles to understand, and people do watch them and they do read up, and there's so much there, which is, and again, a virtual world where, today more that people
Yeah.
are following actors of the Indian film industry in a virtual space. So there's hardly too much of difference. And I'm sure a lot of, because there has been so much migration in talent from the
You
South.
Cinema on the whole is not that. I think cinema is a huge power that we have, and the borders
Yes.
are blurring. It's South
Yes.
Indian Bollywood, or whether it's the Western cinema influence on the Indian cinema, or us watching films which are foreign languages, like watching
Yeah.
Korean films and uh, you
Yeah.
know. So I think it's beautiful as to how art can bring people together.
Yes, absolutely. And tell me about your fitness regime. You do about over 108 Surya Namaskars a day. What are
No,
what are the things that you, I've seen you have
I hope
like
my
down?
my my friend, my yoga instructor, she was supposed to be watching the live. Anshika, if you're watching, she'll be proud. So my yoga journey started about 2 years back. I was never a yoga person. Let me say that first, because a
Uh-huh.
lot of people think yoga's boring and
Yeah.
there's no adrenaline, and I was that person. I still love
Yeah.
my working out, but yoga has just changed. The way I look at a lot of things. I think the sanity, the
Mm.
peace, the calm that it
Yeah.
has brought in me. I mean, there could be a
Mm.
storm, and I'd be like, okay, that's nature's call. Like, I mean, what can you do, really?
Mm.
So, so that's what yoga has done to me. It's not just physical, but also a lot of mental well-being. Um,
Mm.
and now I don't do every day, but 108 is supposed to be the yoga mala. When you all your
Yeah.
chakras open, every part of your body sort of churns out all the
Mm.
toxins. So I do it about thrice a week, 108, and thrice,
Wow.
and other 3 days I do the other yoga with her. So 3 days she takes it, virtually. Otherwise, I would train with her every day, and 3 days then
Okay.
I do about 108. But it's amazing. I think it just I can't explain the feeling. And for me, workout is more like because you said share your routine. So for me, it's more like rejuvenating my body. It's something that I've
Mm.
gotten so used to because I was into sports when I was growing up. A lot into sports. play golf in my high school, in nationals. So my body was always used to a lot of exhaustion, which turned when I started acting, I stopped golf because I was tanned. Then that turned into me working out. So I used to so when your body is used to
Yes.
just sweating it out, it's just
Yeah.
an essential for it, for
Yes.
functioning. So
Yes.
for me, it's
Absolutely.
a brain rejuvenation. Every cell of my body breathes, and when I'm done with it first thing in the morning, then I just have the best start to the day. If I don't work out, I get very grumpy. I that I have these, I just don't have energy. So that's what it is. And now ever since the lockdown, I've been more in yoga because I thought I should rest my system up because not shooting, so you need to kill
Yes.
yourself, literally.
Yes.
But otherwise, I shuttle between high intensity and yoga.
Okay. Amazing. And it's very, and the fact that you also have, and yoga also balances out so many other things in your life apart from your schedule. And when you're probably, but in both those aspects, I mean, today we're talking about the South Indian film industry and Bollywood, though they are in a way very related to each other. Do you see yourself do different genres of films in both to balance out your own creative differences, or you're okay to be?
You can't really plan on what I I see my I want to do good films, and that is irrespective of the language that it's coming from.
Yeah.
I want to do things that excite me. I should have the excitement of going to set every day. I don't want to be repetitive. I want to experiment. I hope I get that opportunity to experiment because I've
Yeah.
just started in Hindi. If you look at it, De and now Mar Java and whatever. I've got 3 films this year.
Yes.
Just like a new start for me, and I really hope that people believe in me and give me those roles to be able to deliver
Yeah.
and write your work. And South is something which is very, very close to me. South, that's it, Telugu is very, very close to
Yeah.
me. And I would keep doing work there also as long as they want to see me, and as long as I get something that I've not done before.
Yeah.
That's the change I bring in the Telugu films, that just be a little more experimental.
Okay. Tell me about how De De Pyar De happened, and you were excited about its release because there's somewhere you mentioned that you were a little jittery about its release as well
Yeah.
because it was a big, yeah. So tell me about all that.
So I think finishing Ayari, I was here for the dubbing or something, and I thought,
Yeah.
okay, this is time to sort of touch base with everyone. Uh,
Okay.
I met a couple of people about whatever
Yeah.
castings were, because Ayari happened at the point where I was ready to sort of start experimenting here, not
Hmm.
experimenting,
Hmm.
start coming back
Hmm.
here because I had a break
Yeah.
of about 4 years.
Okay.
And that's when I met the team. That's when I met Love Sir and Akif Sir. It was a very casual meeting. They said, come and meet. And, I hung out with them for an hour, spoke generally about life, about some music festivals, because it was everything but work, our conversation.
Okay.
And I had that
Mm-hmm.
great meeting. I went back. And about this was November or whatever, about 4 or 5 months later, um, there was another film that I was supposed to do, which
Okay.
I was supposed to finishing. I won't name it. And then I
Mm-hmm.
get a message from the producer that, because of some reason we're going with another name, but I wanted to speak to you personally because we'll work in future and, we're really fond of you and blah, blah, blah. And
Mm.
in that,
Ah.
the kundas, or in that extreme yeah, thought,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's fine, but you feel bad. And I sort of reached out to everybody else, whoever I'd met
Mm.
then. And that's when I
Okay.
got a call back from their office saying that, you won't believe it, we were talking about you, when can you come to Bombay? And I went to
Okay.
Bombay after 2 days. They did 2 photo shoots with me because they just wanted to see the
Wow.
pairing, how it works, and then I was on board. Then
Okay.
I lost the weight that I had to, for Aisha's role, all the
Yes.
things. But I think it'll always be a very special film, for them to believe that, because the role is a full-fledged role in the film. It's not that you're
Yes,
just
I
there.
loved it.
So for
It's a
them to
beautiful
believe
role
in me,
and
I'll
very
always be grateful.
unconventional and an unconventional role, right? It is. And cinema is changing to an extent that
Yes.
the world is changing and cinema is changing quite like that. So that is quite interesting because there is the love is not. I mean, it's not the same age love. It's about
Yeah, I think it's
yeah, there's
changing,
so much.
and what I liked about Dede was that, one, you can be preachy, and one, then you can just say it in a very light-hearted way. I
Yeah.
think that's what they did. To just sort of um, gets into more people's heads. It's
Yes.
how we are conditioned, right, as a society. So
Yeah.
just breaking that
Absolutely.
conditioning.
And working with Ajay Devgan and Tabu, tell me about that. Those two big actors that we have in our
Amazing, amazing. I've told this before, but the first song I ever sang in my life was "Ruk Ruk Ruk Are Baba Ruk." I was 2 then.
okay.
Okay. And I went and told this, while we were shooting, I told this to Ajay sir, and he was like, "Abhi bol diya, dobara mat bolna." So like, but that's what the film is all about, isn't it? He's like, yeah. So we had a great laugh on that. But I think both of them are amazing. When it comes to Ajay sir, he's so calm, he's so
Yeah.
composed. He just needs a second to change his mood, and he's in character.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
on the contrary, Tabu ma'am is someone who sits with her lines, who sort of thinks about what she's going to do. She's in her own zone. But it's
Yeah.
amazing to see actors have such a different approach to their scenes. And I
Yeah.
really made it very simple for me was that both of them were really,
Mm.
really warm and welcoming. Not a single day on shoot did I feel out of place. I didn't have to break any ice. They were very comforting. And that's what led me to just be my. So it was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you also worked with Rajkumar Rao and Hemaji. Tell me about that
That
experience.
was a film. That was a film actually that we did
Huge film.
after Raj after Queen and me after Yariya. Yariya released in Jan, and in April is when
Oh,
I
okay.
signed this film. Yeah, but then we shot that film and it got stuck because of some reasons, and then it came out now, which we weren't aware of actually, but it did. But it was a sweet film. It was an amazing experience. I think Raj is a lovely. Yeah, he's one of the most amazing people that I know. Of
Hmm.
course, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
No doubts about it. But even as a
Yeah.
person, he's a gem. And
Yeah.
even Ramesh, sir, just shooting with a legend like him, I think
Yeah.
adds a lot.
Okay. I'll take some questions because people are asking a lot of questions. You have fans from all over the world who have, written in, and there are many thumbs up and love signs, of course. But apart from that, people said hi, hi, and love, and all of that is there. Okay. Let me see. Someone said, can you speak Tamil, a line of Tamil for people?
லைன் எப்படி இருக்குங்க நல்லா இருக்கேன்
Ah. Okay. Um,
தமிழ் தெரியும்
I'm
பேச தெரியாதா
பேச தெரியாதா? Okay, I speak Tamil, so I can follow your Tamil.
கொஞ்சம்
கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சம் தெரியுமா? That's nice. And you're very fond of dance as well. So tell me about that. Were you
no,
always fond of dance in childhood?
I'm not fond of dance.
No?
I act like I'm fond of dance.
That's a good actor then. So did you train as a child or later? What was it like?
I trained classical in Bharatnatyam with
Okay.
Kamini Krishnamurthy ma'am for a few years.
Okay.
But
Mhm.
that was during, my school time, from my fifth,
Okay.
11th grade or something like that. And then I never trained. So no form of Western dancing. So I'm more a first dancer, and I make people
Okay.
believe I love dance. Ultimately, when the product comes out, as long as it's good,
People don't know.
yeah, I'm like, okay, as long as it looks good. I love dancing in general, but to my own
Yeah.
tune, like to my own steps. So I play music and I can dance for 12 hours. But if you
Oh,
play,
okay.
give me steps which are really fast and which are breaking your bones, and I'm like, oh God, what just happened? Okay, I need to rehearse. So I'm that sort of a dancer.
Okay, so Manu Singh 8788 says, Hi Rakul ma'am, तुम्हारी मूवी देखी थी अजय जी के साथ, बहुत अच्छी लगी, खास करके वो सॉन्ग चले आना.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, there is more. There is so much more. I think people should start writing comments instead of just putting thumbs up signs, because I can ask those questions to you. Uh, Okay. Okay. Also, tell me, what about your skincare regime? There's also something that you do. Is it because you're vegan that your skin shines like this, or also because that you add a lot? You do a lot.
My thank you firstly. Skin shines and all. No, I turned vegan only in November. That was also out of choice because I just wasn't enjoying. But I think more than vegan, your skin is a reflection of how you're feeling within. And even though this
Yeah.
sounds like very Sadhguru 2.0, what I'm saying, I really think it makes a difference because if you're holding on to a lot of emotion, it's going to reflect on how you look, and I'm being very honest. I do not have a very tiresome skincare routine. I can't. The
Okay.
only thing I make sure is that I put minimal makeup whenever
Okay.
I'm shooting. I don't have makeup on, or minimal is the word. And then I
Okay.
cleanse and moisturize. There's no way I'll sleep without that. You have to do
Okay.
that. And then I do a lot of homemade hacks. My mom used to say that just apply whatever fruit you're eating. So if it's banana, it's papaya, just apply
Okay.
face. So that I do haldi basin. So on my YouTube channel, I started putting on these things, so that people stop spending on. I think Ayurveda is the best
Yeah.
form of and feeling that we have.
Yeah.
That
Okay. So Agnivesh Acharya says, which actor have you enjoyed working with the most? Okay. What are your plans working with Akshay Kumar?
my plans. It depends on his plans. So it'll depend on something. I'd love to work with him. I'm a huge fan. Uh, uh, let's hope that something comes my way.
Okay. Tell us about working with John Abraham. There's a film that's coming up
Yes,
that you've shot.
it's so nice, so sweet. Again, John is a very warm person, and not just with his co-stars. I think one thing that I really noticed was that he just takes, also because he's the producer on the set, but he just makes sure that
Yeah.
everyone's comfortable. He doesn't really have to check on my staff. So when
Hmm.
we check, okay, have you guys eaten? And are you guys fine? If there's a problem, and I feel that's so human and nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Life easier to shoot, when you're with good people. And I think that entire set on the whole, attack set is very positive, whether it's my director, Laksh, or whether it's my co-star. It's a very happy, positive set. Go on set in the morning at 7 a.m. and there'll be music playing,
Oh,
uplift.
okay.
Yeah, while they're
Oh,
setting up their loudspeakers and there's music. So you just feel like you're
in a
there to,
mood. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And he's super fit himself. Has he? Have you
Yeah,
exchanged? I mean, has he given you any tips?
we've
Has it happened?
no, not tips and all, but we've spoken about our workouts and food and lifestyle when it comes to this. And I think, yeah, I mean, both of us just enjoy it a lot.
Okay. Someone here asks about your experience working with Arjun.
Alu Arjun,
Yes.
guys, you asked me one experience. Of course, experience has been amazing. Bunny is one of the most beautiful favorite actor in the South. I've said this over and over again. And just a very happy, nice person. He's amazing,
Yeah.
and very very talented. I think he always has in his head that how is he going to make a change to cinema? How can he elevate the level of regional cinema? I think he thinks a lot and he's working towards that, which I really like.
Okay. A lot of actresses from the north have done very well in the south, which includes right from Khushbu ji to everybody. Simran, and there's Hansika, there's Tapsi.
Yeah.
There's so many people. Why do you think there is an acceptance like that? Is there anything that you see as a formula? Anything that you feel?
There
Why?
is no formula to life. First, there's no formula. I think
Hmm.
it's just so happy. There are also a lot of actors from the south who've done extremely well in the north, like Sri Devi
Yeah.
ji, ma'am.
Yes.
I think
Absolutely.
I think it's just to each their own. I don't really draw conclusions of north and south. I don't
Yeah.
understand. I'm an army kid. I think humanity is a religion, and I just don't understand these borders. I think cinema is
Hmm.
cinema. You're good, you get the work. You're not good, you don't get it. I think hard work, more talent is what sustains you. People will still give you
Absolutely.
that if you're hardworking and honest with your job. And
Yeah.
I think, and there are many who haven't worked also. So you can't really say that people from the north work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Okay.
mean, yeah.
Okay, so being multilingual, how does that help you enhance your further roles? Because you think in so many different languages, your own mother tongue as well as Hindi. Does it help you creatively?
I don't know if it creatively, of course, it helps you in being more social to people, in understanding what you like, in understanding what works in different parts of the country. Because you've
Yeah.
been in different kinds of cinema. But I think ultimately, for me, I don't put all that thought into my head, because my job is an
Hmm.
actor to deliver when
Hmm.
and that script is pertained to certain language. So
Okay.
when that's in Hindi, I think what I have learned, or whether it'll work in the South or not, because I'm doing it for a certain set of audiences, and I'm
Audience. Yeah.
my role. I think it's very important to create sections in your mind. Otherwise,
That
too
way you're
much.
very organized, right?
Yeah.
You almost
Otherwise,
have a calendar. Somewhere I've read that you almost have a calendar in your head, and that's also
yeah, like
something
a
that people
walking, talking
challenge.
timetable. Yeah. Like I just don't know. I've never had to make a calendar, but I just like, I don't know. My brother jokes again. He's like, when you have an off, I feel terrible. He's like, I don't know. You're gonna make a schedule for, like, I have a schedule for all this quarantine period, and he's
Okay.
he's and he hates it.
Okay. That's interesting that you have schedules and timetables. Most people don't follow timetables. You make them and keep them nicely. But if
But
you follow them, it's quite,
I think they work for me. I'm just a person who hates to waste time, and I think you're never gonna get
hmm,
this time. So
yeah.
everything you want to work on, your productivity and your skill and whatever, learning or reading or watching content, whatever, there needs to be I want to do a lot. So that's why I make a timetable. I don't
Yeah.
want to let go of this time.
Okay, tell me about your untitled film with Sid Malhotra and Ajay Devgan. That's also in the
But
pipeline, right?
not even started shooting. We were supposed to start shooting on 10th of April, but then in lockdown. So I guess we'll start when things reopen.
And Arjun Kapoor, a film with Arjun Kapoor is also in the pipeline.
So that film was almost over. We're just left with about 7-8 days of work. But
Mm-hmm.
that's supposed to be abroad. We were supposed to be going to Europe in last week of March, which we
Okay.
cancelled. Now we need to figure how and when we do that.
Okay. And so a lot of it, so how does your time divide now? A lot of what about South Indian cinema now? What are the Telugu films that are
So
waiting to release or
film which is on floor, which is with Nitin, which is by Chandrasekhar Yelati. And then there's
Mhm.
Indian 2 in Tamil, and there's another with Shiva Karthikeyan in Tamil. So there are 3 films there and 3 films here. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, for the time, there's the team. I'll work
Yeah.
once things reopen. Things will figure out themselves. There's no point in me thinking what will happen. We'll
Yeah.
see.
But about three here and three there. So about six films are on the way. People can,
Yeah,
all you can wait for these six films that
yeah.
might
Once
that'll
things open up, I know that it's going to be difficult to sort of fix on
yeah.
the, but then we'll see. It'll happen.
Do you see when things open up, there'll be a lot of work to do, right? Because there'll be so much of the activity would be more. Do
Of
you see it
course,
that way?
we've missed out 6 months or maybe more. We don't even know when things are going to start. So I
Yeah.
guess I'll think of it when we get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Now, how do you manage the lows in your life? You're a positive person, but we all have our ups and downs. How do
Yeah.
you manage those lows and how do you protect them and, rise further from there?
You know, you rightly said we all have lows, and like I told you in the beginning of the interview, that it's not that I
Yeah.
was always happy. Like
Yeah.
a normal, when you start out, you get affected
Yeah.
when things don't work, films don't work, or people say something. But then I just realized what really matters is that you're happy. You're one of the few who's living your dream. There are very few
Yeah.
people who are aware of what their passion is. Firstly, it begins there, so you got to be
Yes.
thankful for that.
Yeah.
I'm aware of my passion, and then I'm living it, and then I am lucky to get the kind of films that I'm getting. People are nice to me, warm to me, so then I don't think the lows are that low that they should affect me. It's like seeing the glass half full always, and that's been a
Hmm.
constant